What other qualities, criteria would you have in this person you want as a vendor? Sir? Commitment. Okay. Sir, could you kindly put the word commitment, please? Folks, what is the difference between a promise and a commitment? Somebody give me an answer, please. What is the difference between a promise and a commitment? A promise is an agreement we make with others. Commitment is an agreement we make with ourselves. Can you imagine what this world would be like where parents would not make a commitment to the children, or children would not make a commitment to the parents, or buyers and sellers would not make a commitment to each other, or employers and employees would not make a commitment to each other, or spouses would not make a commitment to each other? Folks, what kind of world would we have? You would have a chaotic world. That means the word commitment says, I am predictable in this unpredictable world. Why is the world unpredictable? Things change, circumstances change, people change. But the word commitment says, I will stand by you no matter what. It doesn't say, I'll stand by you till I find a better one. Are you with me? It says, I'll stand by you no matter what. Now folks, my new book that is coming out next year, I did some research and found about 200 years ago, in the Western world, there was no concept of love marriage. Pretty much most marriages were arranged marriages. And granted, some of them might have had problems, but by and large they lasted. But that means marriage came first, love came after. But today in the Western world, almost 100% of marriages are so-called love marriages. Means love comes first, marriage comes after. And in the Western world, there is 60 to 70% divorce rate. So what they have done is, they have come up with a compromise way. And what is a compromise way? Say it loudly. Okay. Let us live together without making any commitment. And you ask them, what is the purpose behind it? And they say, we are checking compatibility. And for 5 years they live together, and every day they keep checking compatibility for 5 years. And then they get married, 2.5 hours later, they have a divorce. What did you check in 5 years? What's missing is say it loudly, what is missing is the commitment. Now, folks, then they say to you, what keeps a relationship going? You hear many times, is compatibility. Nothing could be further from the truth. Folks, it is not compatibility that keeps a relationship going. It is our ability to live with incompatibilities in life. Folks, let me qualify my statement. Have you ever seen a compatible couple in this world? Show me one. Folks, other than values, nothing is compatible. Values must be compatible. Other than values, you've got to be flexible in everything. Values is something, no flexibility. Now, commitment comes out of loyalty. Sir, can you please put the word loyalty there? Who do we owe loyalties to? Do we owe loyalties to individuals? Or do we owe loyalties to organizations? How many say we owe loyalties to individuals? Please raise your hand. A few hands went up. How many say we owe loyalties to organizations? Please raise your hand. Okay. And I notice there's some people who get their hand up here. When I look at them, they start doing this. Interesting. Now, folks, keep in mind, we owe loyalties neither to individuals nor to organizations. We owe loyalties to values. I repeat, we owe loyalties to values. Go check out anywhere in the world where values don't match. You cannot work in the same organization. Either you change your values or you change your organization. Yes, no. And where values don't match, you cannot live in the same family. Either you change your values or you change your family. Now, folks, when we talk of values, how many agree that values keep changing from person to person, situation to situation? Values are subjective. And they keep changing from person to person, situation to situation. How many agree with this one? Please raise your hand. How many agree with that? Raise your hand all the way up. Okay. How many disagree with this? Please raise your hand. Okay. Folks, I have to say, those who say values are subjective, they have no values. How can they change? How can they change? And when we talk of values, whose values are we talking about? Who are we to judge? And what says my values are right? Folks, when we talk of values, we don't talk of values mine and yours. We talk of universal values and eternal values. Universal means they cut across country, they cut across culture, they cut across religion. That's called universal. And eternal means they were here before we came. They will be here after we are gone. Are you with me? Are you with me, folks? They were here before we came, and they will be here after we are gone. Now, folks, big question is, how do we establish universal values? How do we know these are universal and eternal values? Folks, whatever business profession that you are in, do you have quality standards and benchmarks, sir? Yes, no? Yes, no? Okay. If you didn't have them, sir, could you ever achieve them, sir? No. So unless we have universal benchmarks on values and ethics, how can we achieve them? Now, let me share with you, how do we establish universal benchmarks on values and ethics? You would like to know, yes, no? You would like to know, yes, no? Can I have a big yes? Okay. Folks, hear this. One little story. Carefully, I'm going to ask you two questions. There was an elderly lady about 85 years of age with 2 bags of groceries in her hands, waiting for a bus. Right behind her was a big boy also waiting for the bus. The bus came. They both got on the platform. The bus was totally packed. There was only one seat available at the far end, and the lady started moving to get that seat. This big boy came from behind, threw his big arm around the lady, and took a big step and a big step, and he took that seat. This elderly lady fell on the floor. Her bags of groceries got scattered. She was lying totally helpless. Now there were many passengers in the bus. One of the passengers was a sophisticated lady. She started thinking, how clumsy of this boy. She's looking at the etiquette manners. There's a lawyer in the bus who starts thinking, there must be a law against this kind of behavior. He's looking from a legal perspective. Third, there was a surgeon in the bus who starts thinking, this lady must have broken 3 ribs. He's looking from a surgical perspective. The fourth person was a psychiatrist who thinks this boy is psychotic, he needs mental help. See folks, 4 people thinking 4 different ways. 1 is looking at the etiquette manners, 2 legality, 3 surgically, 4 mentally. Not one of them asked this question, was this behavior right or wrong? Folks, let me ask you, why don't we ask this question? Because the moment we ask this question, what happens? We become judgmental. Yes, no. Hello? And let me ask you, if your values are clear, what is wrong in being judgmental? Now I have 2 questions. Number 1, should this boy have behaved like with this lady? Yes, no. Yes, no? 2, should anyone behave like this with anybody? That's universal. The moment you answer no to the second one, should anyone behave like this with anybody, that is universal question, and your answer is universal. Folks, this is how we establish universal benchmarks on values and ethics. Folks, clarifying values is not difficult. Are you aware that every doctor that graduates, he has to take an oath of Hippocrates? Are you familiar? Yes, no. They have to take an oath of Hippocrates. Anybody read that oath? It is only 1 paragraph. Given 2,000 years ago. Only 1 paragraph. If you read that oath, do you need any more values than that one? Go check it out. Folks, are you aware that every lawyer that graduates has to take an oath of code of conduct? How long is that oath? 1 page. If you read that oath, code of conduct, do you need any more values than that one? Folks, every judge, every legislator, every politician, every officer, when they take position, they have to take an oath. Are you aware how long is that oath? 4 lines. Folks, clarifying values is not difficult. You know what is difficult is to face up to them after clarifying, so we choose not to clarify. They remain confused. You would never have to face up. Okay, so we owe loyalties to values. And next one, loyalty and commitment brings dependability. Folks, let me ask you, if you have a vendor with great ability, but if they are not dependable, do you want them? Hello? Do you want them, folks? Yes, no? So, keep in mind, folks, ability is important, but dependability is crucial. Means, ability without dependability is a liability. Are you with me? Ability without dependability is a, say it loudly, it is a liability.